Welcome today from a very eastern part of Switzerland. I'm with Edouard Mélan, who is CEO and owning with his family H Moser and Company. Correct.
Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Don't forget to subscribe and to hit the bell to get our latest notifications.
Why did I say eastern part of Switzerland? Because most of the watch industry is in the western part, and we are very close to the German border and very in the east of Switzerland, in Neuhausen. It's a little suburb of Schaffhausen. Do you agree with it? If I say it?
It's fine.
I say this because
I'm proud to be close to Schaffhausen. Yeah.
I'm just saying this because I had in mind a commercial that is on the airport when you get in. No, a little suburb of Schaffhausen. And
talking about Zurich.
Yeah, okay. So, Edouard, let's get into what I am here for. You're presenting a really incredible watch. I was not aware, really. I heard that it's gonna be It's heard that with whom you made it, and then I saw the watch first time, and I was really curious to see what you did. First of all, explain me why you go in this step, why you decided to do this, what kind of watch it is. Tell me the story about it.
Well, you know the story of Moser. I mean, there wouldn't be brands on the eastern part of Switzerland without Moser, because Mr. Moser was the first one to come here and help other famous brands to come here in the region. So that has that definitely has an impact on who we are and what we do. There's a very Germanic aspect on Moser, and a lot of engineering. If you look at our movements, the inspiration is definitely from Germany. I think we can consider Moser one of the most Germanic brands in Switzerland. Mm-hmm. But back in 2012, when we took over Moser, there was already the ambition to create a new line in the range of Moser, and something that would be with steel bracelet integrated, which is quite something that we hear a lot at the moment. So when I arrived, I looked at the drawings that we had on my table, and to be honest, while I understood why we were doing this, I was not convinced about what I saw, because if you look at Moser being an independent boutique brand, you have no choice but to be different if you want to stand out. And everything I saw could be linked to many others, and very too close to very iconic models.
I just need to explain one thing. The family Mélan took over Moser in 2012. Yes. So before it was already owned by someone else, you took over then, and that's what he's talking about, Edouard, is the things moment. That's moment. Okay, that's just to
that
get
moment where. Okay. I mean, Moser is 192 years old.
Yeah, of course. But might be difficult to understand if you jump in here and you say, "Oh, what's the guy talking about?"
I know this story pretty good, but maybe not everyone. Sorry about that.
No. It's absolutely. So 2012, you took over. You saw first drawings about the steel sport watch.
Well, we needed to save this brand, right? There was on the verge of bankruptcy. So one of the ideas was to create a steel line, because everything was in gold. And what I saw was not what I wanted, and we put it aside. And it took a long time. I mean, in the meantime, we developed, I think, tremendously Moser. We multiplied by 3 the quantities. We included new identities. The dial has become really strong, whereas Moser was only known in the past for the amazing movements that we have. So I think we developed the brand, but this idea of creating a line of steel metal bracelet integrated product was always there. And we, every 2 years, we would go through a round of design, and until I think 4 years ago, there was this idea that kind of emerged where I felt we have something. And the idea came actually from the bracelet. I think what makes beautiful metal bracelet integrated watch is the bracelet. It sounds stupid to say, but you need something that is, as I said, is different, is elegant, that really stands out and is comfortable to wear. And that's where we started. And we tried many things, and when you will discover it.
So we can say watch followed bracelet.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
Watch followed bracelet.
For me, there were 2 things. I wanted a comfortable and elegant bracelet. We decided to go to a single link bracelet, which is quite different from what we see everywhere today. A lot of 3 and 5 links. So very minimalistic, very Moser. I mean, for those who know Moser, we are a brand that try to go to in a very elegant way to the essence of the design. And in that case, having a single link bracelet, I think made sense, and it's very comfortable. Also for small wrist like mine. And then there was the shape of the watch. I didn't want a round watch. I think we have many round watches in our collections. We have the Endeavor, we have the Pioneer, we have the Venture. So I want something different. What I liked everything has been done in the watch industry in a way. So we need to do something different. I wanted a cushion shape watch because I like cushion shapes, but not the antique or very vintage one. I wanted something that's inspired by that, but very modern. So then we had to combine the two. This single link bracelet with a cushion shape watch, and that was really the start about 4 years ago when we felt, okay, we have something there. It's really a teamwork. There were about 4 or 5 people working together on that. As I said, new bracelet, new case, new movement, new hands, new dial. Everything is new, but it has to be a Moser.
And very particular positioning of the start, stop, and reset button.
Yes.
Also.
Well, another dream that I had for Moser was having a chronograph. The chronograph, I think a brand becomes a brand when it has a nice chronograph in its offering. And my dream was, Moser is known for the perpetual calendar. Our perpetual calendar has all the hands going through the center. It doesn't look like any perpetual calendar. It's probably the most amazing perpetual calendar there is in the market. And it's a dream to have it in your collection. It's a nightmare when you need to create a chronograph because everybody's going to compare with it. So we had the chance to develop this perpetual calendar with Andreas Streller. In the case of the chrono, we did a lot of iterations together with our engineers and trying to see how we could do something that would be at that level. For me, the definition was I didn't want the 2 normal pusher chrono with 2 or 3 compacts. I wanted something that was everything through the center, that would be basically a chronograph that gives the time. And that's not easy. So we had the choice to develop it, spend millions that we don't have as a small family, or find what's the best out.
What would you estimate correctly, or what would you estimate would be a figure that reflects a correct development of a chronograph in the industry? Because people will say, how much does it cost?
A minima, if we want to do something like this, it's
4, 5, 6 millions?
Something like, I would say 5 millions, and minimum 5 to 7 years development to do something like this.
If you get something serious out of it.
And that works.
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Something you never on the computer, it might take 6 months.
Yeah. Okay.
Something that works in a case that you can use, that is reliable, that we can also produce and assemble in a good amount of time. That takes ages, and we know that. We took over the perpetual calendar that had been launched in 2005, and in 2012 we were still fixing a lot of bugs. So it takes time, and don't try to shortcut it because you go into disaster.
Yeah, okay.
So that was the idea, and as being independent and family owned, we tend to know a lot of those other families in the watch industry, and one very well known and that I really appreciate a lot is the Widerrecht family.
Jean-Marc Widerrecht and his son.
Yeah, exactly.
We're based in Geneva.
Exactly.
The other end of Switzerland.
And
close to the French border.
As I was going through my reflection about developing this chronograph, they launched the H Graph a few years back, and for me, I dropped on my knees, and I was like, "Wow, this is the most amazing chronograph that has ever been developed in modern watchmaking." And
can we say they launched it with Singer?
Yeah, I think it was with Singer.
And then with
back in 2016 or 17. Yeah. And I was like, "This is, if I had." The money, the time, the engineers, everything, that's what I would love to have. So there was 2 choices. Either we take the risk, and it's a lot of money that we don't have, and that means maybe opening the capital of our company and losing the independence, or we partner with another family to develop something. So that's the choice we have made, and we developed this amazing flyback. It's a premiere. It's a flyback chronograph, everything at the center with the pushers at 10 and 2 o'clock, and that was my dream movement come through. It's more than 450 components. It's an automatic movement, but you don't see the rotor because they were smart enough to put it behind the dial, which is only possible because all the information goes through the center. So you keep it very clean, and you can see all those key elements that you want to see on a chronograph. We're not talking about a cheap chronograph. We're talking here about an amazing integrated fully integrated chronograph. We're not talking about a platform you put on a normal automatic movement. We're talking really the top of the top. And that's what I want for H Moser.
And the fact that the rotor is under the dial, so you really have the chance, if you buy the watch, you turn it around and you can really go in this little aquarium and you can really see everything and you can jump into and admire all the parts.
Amazing. Amazing. I think that's a big part of the beauty of what
and it's what the people want in the end. They spend a lot of money, they get a chronograph done at the level of haute horlogerie, and then of course they want to admire.
It has to be performant, reliable, beautiful, and sexy, and quite rare. And I think here, I mean, you mentioned Singer. They did a few pieces with that, and I think thanks to Moser, with our bigger volumes, we can really help also these independent developers to survive. It's a tough world out there, and collaborating with other independent watchmakers or with other brands. We are working also on collaborations with other independent brands. That's the beauty of independence, is we can do that. Big groups, difficult to take many brands. And
I really admire the thing that you guys in between each other, you're friendly, you're not as hostile as some other groups are. And
we were talking just before we started here about MBNF. MBNF can be seen as a competitor. Max Busser is a good friend, and we try to do as much as possible together. We're moving at the SIHH to the
Watches and Wonders, by the way.
Watches and Wonders. Sorry, I need to get used to
I don't like the name, but
we're moving to the more established brands, the two of us, and we will have two booths next to each other with an open space between the two, so people can discover MBNF.
Yeah, you have been developing hairsprings for him,
developing a hairspring for him. We're doing other projects together. We're going to Dubai to have an exhibition together. That's the way independent brands work together, and I think that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, and
we need each other.
People still get an MBNF, or people get Moser, and that's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
I assume that in the beginning the movement assembly will be done by Jean-Marc Wiedrecht and his team, and little by little you will integrate it and you do it here in Neuhausen.
So we developed an evolution. It's what they developed at that time was a 12 hours chronograph. We have a 60-minute chronograph stopwatch flyback, which is unique, and we produce parts here in our manufacturer. The first one are assembled by them, and then we'll bring the assembly here. And the idea is to continue to develop together.
Mm-hmm. The first edition is a limited edition.
Yes.
To celebrate
100 pieces.
100 pieces.
Edition. The name of the collection, we haven't mentioned it yet.
Yeah, this will be the surprise for the end.
No, it's called the Streamliner.
Streamliner, like these nice
locomotives,
steam.
Those locomotives from 1930s.
Yeah.
If you see, very organic, curved, and that's what we like to do.
Very nice name.
About it.
Streamliner.
It's very linked to the design of that particular watch.
Yeah.
Should we look at it?
Yeah, we can, of course. Yeah.
So, as I said, it's a new case, it's a new bracelet, it's a new movement. New hands, the hands are made of ceramic. That's the first time it's ceramic made charged with superluminova, and a new dye. Moser is known for the fumé dyes. This one is, we call it the griffé. We don't have a sunburst on it. It's a griffé gray, a little bit darker than what we see on the first proto here. But yes, I think everything is new, but everything is Moser, and everything is different. So here we have the cushion shape of the Streamliner. You can see a lot of details. The glass box here follows the shape of the case. A very organic bracelet, as I said, monolinks. But if you feel, it's a little bit like the scales of a fish. It's very smooth in one direction, and you can feel the curve on the other side. Actually, something like this wouldn't have been possible to be made in the 70s.
Yeah, too complicated.
Because everything is three-dimensional.
Yeah.
So that's a very important element.
And it's matte and polished, both?
Yes, matte and polished. Of course, you need in the transition. I mean, the transition between matte and or satiné and brushed.
Satiné, yeah. Matte look, it's satiné in technical terms, but
it's the most difficult.
Yeah, of course.
And the integration of a bracelet. I think we spent days and days to create this element, like the connection between the curves of the case, because nothing is simple here. The curve of the case and the bracelet, so that it really falls. Even for a small bracelet like wrist like me, I think it falls very nicely. That was important thing. So I want to wear it as well.
A lot of clients want smaller watches, so
Yeah, well, it's a 42.3 millimeter,
Yeah, but
12 ATM, so you can really swim with the watch, and even
120 meters.
120 meters, and dynamic, meaning you can use the chronograph under the
You
water.
could use.
You can, yeah.
You could.
Under the water.
Okay.
A lot of watches are 12 ATM.
Now
It doesn't mean you can use the function.
We can have some drinks and then think about what could we do under the water with a chronograph.
Oh, you can swim already.
Yeah, I know. But who will use a chronograph, such a chronograph underwater? It's just
I mean, I hope people will use it. That's why we developed it.
Yes. But I don't see the really. I'm thinking about. Give me some drinks and then probably I can get
a few
ideas
activities that could be used.
I'm kidding.
And of course the movement. So if you look here at the back, we can really feel the complexity. It's an automatic movement.
Yeah, as we talked about.
Almost 60 hours power reserve, but you don't see the rotor. Why?
Yeah.
Because the rotor is here behind the dial, and I think that's so smart.
It's a 3 hertz. I learned.
It's a 3
21,600.
More than 450 components, 2 barrels.
Yeah. And a little detail I want to point out, as always, I'm very much into it. If you use a stopwatch and you have those small dots separating the seconds, so if you stop the chronograph, you should be able to read something from the chronograph. And very often you get, you see a chronograph and you see a dial, and the watch is using, let's say, 28,800. It's 1/8 of a second or whatever, and then you don't have the appropriate indication on the dial, so it will be completely useless. It's like if you drive a car with miles indicated in Europe.
Well, that's an easy mistake. I mean,
no, it's an easy. And
two months ago we had the wrong indication because we didn't think about it. We never need a chrono, so we were like,
it's one of the first things I was counting. I said, oh, finally, okay, you need 6 dots because if you stop the chrono will be able to measure 1/6 of a second. Yeah, and if you stop it, then you want to, in theory, I'm talking about the theory, but it has to be correct because it's a expensive mechanical device. If you stop the chronograph,
it's on the line.
It's on the line. Yes. It's not somewhere. And there are very famous chronographs out there. I don't want to say anything. One named after a racetrack in the United States of America, sold for a lot of money, not available in steel, and it's wrong. Maybe you know which one I mean.
But the dial, I mean, it's good you mentioned it again. If you look at the indications we have on here, is everything about the chrono. So there's a tachymeter and the chronograph. It's inspired by the stopwatches, with the 60 minutes. And it's all indication you have. So it's a chronograph that gives time.
It's very nice. And jumping minute indication out of the center.
Yes.
So there are no subdials. Everything comes from the center. And once the running second hits the 60 second, the minute counter will jump.
Yeah.
And there's kind of a
charging energy for the 60 seconds.
There's a click and you will hear the click. Gorgeous watch.
Thank you very much.
You're selling it for. I have to ask the question. People say, "How much is it? How much is it? How much is it?" No,
it's going to be.
I don't imagine it.
It's going to be very close, but slightly below 40,000 Swiss francs. So around 40,000 US
money
dollars.
you spend.
Yes.
Is this the price for the 100 pieces limited edition, or will this be also the price for the editions that come afterwards?
Frankly, we're looking at 100 pieces now. I don't know what's going to happen afterwards. There's going to be other editions,
but it's
probably not limited.
It's just the start. You're not limiting the watch.
Well, it's the start of a collection. Okay. So Streamliner is becoming a collection for Moser. So there's going to be other movements in there. Eventually, we're starting with the chronograph. The moment we have planned 100 chronograph in that configuration, then we'll see. Right now, I need to see, does the market like it? Because I don't want,
Have you been testing it on the market? Yeah. And I'm sure they like it. It's a really nice.
Most important is we like it.
Yeah,
but we need to sell it. But I think it's different.
And the one good thing is everybody now is waiting behind the camera when they see such a video like this one. To which watch can we compare it? What did he copy? What was? There's nothing. I didn't.
But there's always something.
Yeah. Okay. You could say the price, the links, we have seen those links. Yes, we have seen them, but not in this way and not in this execution, as we say. Yeah, the dial, okay, but it's...
Well, it reminds me of Moser.
Yes, it reminds me of Moser. It's a good one.
No, but what's good is, the watches will be in the market when we launch it. So January 2020,
Mhm.
which is now probably when we launched this video.
Yeah.
So it's out there, and that's what we wanted. We really stayed until we waited until everything was ready.
So what does
launch
someone
it.
has to do if he really wants to buy the chronograph now?
Well, there's,
Call you. Shall we insert your number?
No, go on the Moser website. All
Okay.
our retailers are there. It's not that many, but it's qualitative, exclusive retailers,
Yeah.
and
you're
hopefully
guaranteeing
all
that
of
the
them will
watches
get-
will be around the entire world. You're not concentrating on selling them in a specific market.
no, we don't do that.
Okay.
Well, it's,
Or you're focusing on
providing it's available. I'm sure
Okay.
you know when we deliver them, the first few will be already reserved.
Yeah.
But I mean, if somebody really wants it, I don't think the waiting list for this watch is 11 years yet. But who knows?
Back to the watch I was talking about before, with the wrong indications of the. Okay, never mind. Edouard, thank you very much.
Thank you, Alexander.
Big pleasure to
My
discover
pleasure.
a chronograph that is really, nice, very nice, in
Thank
fact. And I was expecting something that, I was expecting something totally different, honestly.
But that's what
Because
I like about
I
this.
couldn't imagine what would Moser do when Moser would launch a chronograph. Because you're so less is more orientated with all your dies and all. You don't. Moser doesn't even have a logo on the die. So you're taking off everything. This has a logo, in fact. But I was
It's
expecting
a new
something.
line. We need to establish the new codes, but we want to surprise people. We need something that is different. And yes, I mean, frankly, there would be the easy way of creating a chrono for Moser that probably would be what you or many others expect. This is something different. But I really think this is the future for us.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
From my side, and I'm really keen to see what's next in that collection. Yeah, we've
Me
been
too,
talk-
but
Yeah,
I don't.
imagine a diver, a GMT, whatever. Everything's possible. Perpetual calendar in the end, or
Perpetual calendar is not our signature, so eventually one day, why not?
one day. Yeah.
But I think the chronograph makes sense on a watch like this one. Because
course.
the chronograph is this,
Of course.
racing,
yeah.
sportive function,
yes.
and this is sport chic, and
Yes.
I think that
Very.
fits perfectly together.
It is.
So everything is new, everything is different, but it's very Moser, I believe. But they will tell us.
Final words, huh? Everything is Moser. Final words. There's nothing more to add here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
You keep it.
Yes. You see, that's how we work. We come here, we film, and then we get little gifts. No, unfortunately, I will give it back.
Thank you very much.
Everybody saw me giving it back, and thanks for watching once again. And I'm really keen to see what's next, because this is a collection I think will be very good accepted by your customers. I'm pretty sure.
Hopefully.
Yes. Bye, guys.
Thank you.